So this was a very interesting TED Talk. As a Christian, I agreed with the thought that God is always with me, guiding my steps. God has created us to be a creative people, and He gave us a mind that grows and learns. And we have the ability to do a good work that God puts us here for. The Bible is full of people who discovered God's creation. My mind goes first to Genesis 4, verses 20 through 22. Ida gave birth to Jabal. He was the father of those who live in tents and raise livestock. His brother's name was Jubal. He was the father of all who play stringed instruments and pipes. Zillah also had a son, Tubal-Cain, who forged all kinds of tools out of bronze and iron. So these people who were alive at the beginning of time were out there being creative for God. They discovered music and tools that were placed here for the benefit of mankind. And it is so cool to think that such creativity could exist in our world. There are a few differences in my thinking when compared to Elizabeth's. She mentions that there is a chance that the deity or the sprite in the wall was something that we could get rid of. She talks about the dancer who we see as God when he's in the middle of the dance, but the next day when he's not dancing, God is not with him. And I find that to be faulty thinking. God is always with us. He is always shielding us and guiding us if we let Him. It seems like a really dark and hard place to be if we are living without our Creator. Some of the things that I was not aware of when I first started the video were the historical aspects. I had no idea that the Greek and Romans had the view of genius as something that you have, not something that you are. It does feel quite odd to think of a genius as a sprite or spirit in the wall. It feels a little akin to our assigned FBI agent watching our phones every step. I do see how, though, the idea of creativity being something we have, how that could help to create a distance from our creative work. People could take a step back from it and know that if it does fail, it's not entirely your fault. And it would give people that distance to not judge each other or themselves as harshly as well. And I do wonder how people thought of themselves in ancient Greece and ancient Rome versus today. So that new knowledge did have some impact on my thinking of creativity. Elizabeth had some great points on how creative works have changed the way that our societies work. When I started out my undergrad, I was an English major, and almost every single author that we read had some sort of mental health battle. A lot of them were struggling with alcoholism. Most of them ended up getting divorced. Almost every single one of them died before their spouses did, for whether that was substance abuse or suicide, but it never really seemed to be any sort of easy thing for them. So that being said, there might be something to giving credit for our creative endeavors to our creative God. Elizabeth mentions often in the video how people speak to the thin air and give some sort of personification to their thinking when they're met with a mental block. And the way that she describes it sounds as if the person working is praying to God, even if the intention is to pray to the genius on the inside. Everything that we do should bring glory back to God. He is the one who sustains us, and He needs to be the one in whom we worship. When I feel as if I'm failing, my first step should be to go to God and ask for His sovereign hand in that situation. And as I said before, I believe that God is always with us, and my creativity or lack thereof does not mean that God's existence is in question. My very being is a testament to His creativity, because if He were not a creative God, we wouldn't exist. If you just look around at our world, you can see how every part of it shines bright with God's creativity. Everything has a structure, everything has a place. And therefore, I don't have to do anything to show His power and His might. I don't have to do anything for people to look around and see God. My whole job on this earth is to bring glory to God. And using this philosophy, I am reminded that bringing my wins and my losses to Him and His glory. I do not have to be perfect in my own right. I just have to be available in what He has given me to do.